This training session will cover how to fill out and submit the report via the submission method DEP Online. The reporting period runs from June 2nd through June 21st, and the annual report is due by July 21st of each year. NJAC 726-3A.21D requires generators of more than 200 pounds of RMW per year to submit an annual report to the department. However, even if your facility reports under 200 pounds of RMW, this process must still be completed. Regulated medical waste generators are required to submit the annual generator reports through NJDEP Online. Annual generator reports will no longer be accepted via email. If you do not have an NJDEP Online account, the next section will describe the steps. Generator ID numbers can now be either a 6-digit number or a 7-digit number with 0 as the first digit, but newer facilities will have a 7-digit number beginning with a 1. Please use the exact ID number the NJDEP issued to your facility. To find your ID number, please visit nj.gov/dep/dshw/hwr/medwaste.htm and scroll down to the database heading for generator entries. Should you have any questions, you may reach us by email at rmwgeneratorannualre@dep.nj.gov or call 609-984-3438. To submit an annual report, you must 1. Have an NJDEP Online account and set up your workspace. 2. Enter the tonnage using DEP Online. So let's walk through that now. To access DEP Online, navigate to nj.gov/dep/online using either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Submitting the report requires a DEP Online account, which is issued to an individual, not a company. If the user doesn't yet have an account, one will have to be made by clicking the Request Access to NJDEP Online button and following the instructions PDF found directly above the button on the web page. I do have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and click Login to NJDEP Online. Type my username and my password and hit Enter or click the Login button. This is just asking me if my information is correct, and it is, so I'll go ahead and click that button. I'll click Continue, and this will take me to the first tab called My Workspace. This tab has 4 sections, and they are as follows. 1. Service Selection, where you can add services using the Configure Services button. This is how you add the link to complete and submit the report, and we'll discuss this next. My Facilities/Program Interests, which is used to add facilities similarly to Service Selection. My Services in Progress, where if you start a report but are unable to finish it in one sitting, you can log out of DEP Online and finish the service at a later time. You can find a row identifying each partially completed service in the My Services in Progress section on the My Workspace tab. You can resume the service where you left off by clicking the ID number for the service on the far left side of the row. Finally, the My Services Submitted section shows similar information to that of the In Progress section, but for completed reports. However, instead of a Cancel button, there's a PDF button which opens a tab on the web browser with a printer-friendly version of the report. Information regarding the status of the submission will also appear here and will be discussed in more detail later. So under the Service Selection section, to set up types of services you would like to submit, click the Configure Services button. A complete list of available services will open. Under the Solid and Hazardous Waste heading, click on the checkbox for Solid and Hazardous Waste Reporting Services and scroll down and click OK. You will be returned to My Workspace. The Solid and Hazardous Waste Reporting Services will be added to the Service Selected section of the page, and this will now be available every time you log in. So next would be the Add Facilities button, and to link facilities to your account, you click the button. A facility search screen will open. Make sure that the top radio button is selected. In the Select NJDEP Program dropdown, you can select solid waste, but it is optional. You can search either by facility ID or facility name. I know the ID, so I'll go ahead and enter it. Upon clicking the search button, a list of facilities will display. To select a facility, click the associated checkbox. Make sure the program interest type of your facility is medical waste generator and click the Add Selected Facilities button. You will be returned to My Workspace. The selected facility will be added to the My Facilities Program Interest section of the page, and the facility will now be available anytime you need to submit a service for it. You can also delete facilities by simply clicking the red X. Once your services and facilities are set up, they will always display on your My Workspace tab when you log in. So with those two things set up, we can now begin the actual report submission. And we will do so by clicking the Solid and Hazardous Waste Reporting Services link. So once you click that, instructions will open describing the available reports. Click the Continue button, and then a selections page will open, and we're just going to click the radio button for medical waste generator and scroll down and click Continue. Next brings up the facility selection page where you have to enter in a reporting period from the drop-down field for which you are reporting data, which we'll do 2022. And then in the grid, click the radio button associated with the RMW generator for which you are reporting data. When you click the radio button, the system will check for previous submissions for the same facility for the same year. If a previous submission was made, you will be provided with a warning message in green text informing you of the previous submission. You can choose to revise the year and facility selected, or you can choose to proceed. If you complete and submit the reporting service for an identical year and facility that was previously submitted, the earlier submission will be superseded and replaced by the more recent version. If the facility does not appear in the grid, you have not added the facility to your user profile. To add the facility, you can click on the Click Here link below the grid, or you can return to My Workspace. So with that, we can click Continue to proceed. This page allows you to name your submission. The submission/project name field is fully editable, so the user may choose any name. However, the system will auto-generate a name based on the type of report, e.g. medical waste generator report, the report year, the PI number of the facility. The user may choose to keep the auto-generated name or change it any way they wish. This page also includes a field that allows the user to enter any comments they would like regarding the monthly report. Do not include questions or important information that the department must act on in this field. In such circumstances, please contact the Bureau of Recycling and Hazardous Waste Management at 609-984-3438 or the Bureau's assigned engineer/specialist for the facility by telephone or email. Upon completion of any entries, click the Continue button. And these pages may all take a minute to load, but please just give it a minute. Don't refresh, don't click the back arrow, or if you do, because if you do, you may lose progress. So the next page is the contacts page where the user is required to provide contact information for one individual, just a general contact. The contact is identified by this tab, and if you are a contact, you can enter your DEP Online profile information into this contact screen by simply selecting the drop-down arrow labeled Import from Existing Contacts and selecting your name under My Profile Information. If someone else is the general contact, enter their name, address, email address, and telephone information. Fields marked with an asterisk are required, and so is one phone number. If you would like to save a contact's information for your future use, you can check the Save to My Favorites checkbox and click the Save button, which is down here. The favorites contact information will then be saved and selectable from the Insert from Existing Contacts dropdown, like that. Then you can just click Continue. The service-specific details page identifies the reporting period you selected at the beginning of the report. If this was an error, return to the facility selection page by clicking on the facility selection link from the list on the left side of the page right there. This will result and then need to clear data, and you will have to re-enter data from that point. If the reporting period is correct, use the dropdown to answer the question, did your facility generate more than 200 pounds of medical waste during this reporting period? If the facility generated 200 pounds or less of RMW during the reporting period, answer no and click the continue button to proceed to the next steps. If the answer is yes, the page will display 4 grids of data entry. So there are some instructions that explain each grid and how to fill them, what they need and how to fill them out. The first one is simply the medical waste generated grid, which you need to enter a waste class and quantity generated in pounds for each RMW waste class generated at the site during the reporting period. You just enter a separate row for each waste class generated. Next is the management methods grid, where you provide the management methods used for each type of waste class generated during the reporting year. Select a waste class, method type, method description, and quantity of waste in pounds. Enter a separate row for each waste class and management method used during the reporting year. If no on-site treatment, on-site destruction, or on-site disposal of a generated waste class was performed, enter the waste class, select off-site as both the method type and method, and enter the quantity of waste. If waste class types 2 and 3 were generated and placed in the sewer, select RMW class 2 and 3 disposed via sewer. The default method type is disposal, then enter the quantity of waste. If the generator performed on-site treatment, on-site destruction, or on-site disposal of a waste, enter the waste class, select the applicable method and method type, and enter the quantity of waste. If more than one on-site management method was used for a waste class, enter a row for each on-site management method used. If more than one was used for a waste class, enter a row for each management method used. The third grid is transporters for waste sent off-site grid, where you enter a row for each unique combination of waste class and transporter used to ship waste during the reporting period. You can select either the transporter name or transporter number. The other field will fill in automatically. If you complete the transporters for waste sent off-site, you must also complete the waste destination and intermediate handlers grid to go to the next step. For the waste destination and intermediate handlers grid, simply enter a row for each intermediate handler and destination facility to whom you shipped waste during the reporting period. Enter the name and address of each facility that your RMW was sent to during the reporting period. You must enter a quantity in pounds for each waste class on a row, even if you did not send any of that waste class to the facility. Enter 0 if you sent none of the waste class. And one important note, if you complete the waste destination and intermediate handlers grid because you sent RMW off-site, you must also complete the transporters for waste sent off-site grid. So upon completion of the grids, click the continue button to go to the next step. So I'm just going to fill in some information quickly. Let's say my test facility did 100 pounds of cultures and generated 100 pounds of cultures and stocks. And I think I need to also do management methods. So I'll say 100 cultures and stocks for on-site treatment, incineration, 100 pounds. And you just have to make sure you click these pluses in order to actually add the rows of data. And then if you need to delete them, you can just click the red trash can. So I've filled out enough data to continue, so I can click the continue button. Next is the attachment upload screen, which offers the user the opportunity to upload additional documents to supplement the annual report data. No additional documents are required for the RMW submission, but if you wish to attach a file to the report, click the Add Attachment dropdown and select Other SHW Tonnage Attachment, and you can click the Add Attachment button again. But if you do not wish to upload attachment, click the Continue button to go to the next step. Last is the certification page, where you have to verify your identity, and you do so by entering a response to the challenge question and clicking the clicking the submission button. So let me enter mine. What is my favorite music album? And these were initially set up when you made your account. So you're just gonna have to remember these, but if you don't, you can click the Forget Challenge Q&A button. And you may just need your password. So I entered it in right. So next is to enter the certification PIN. And just know that clicking certified does constitute an electronic signature of the submission. And just note that your certification PIN and your password are two different things. It is possible that you made your certification PIN and password identical, but if you forgot your certification PIN, you can click the Forgot Certification PIN button to create a new one. So I'll go ahead and type mine in and click Certify. After clicking Certify, do not close your browser. Again, it may take several minutes. It's just finalizing and verifying the submission. But this is usually a good sign. Okay, so after it's done certifying, a page will open displaying a summary of the information provided in the annual report submission. You can return to the My Workspace by clicking on the My Workspace tab or by clicking the return button at the bottom of the summary page. On the My Workspace tab, you can see a list of your submissions under the My Services Submitted section. The list provides various information regarding the service, including the status of the submission, which for mine, thankfully, is successful. So that's today, June 14th. If the status of the service's submission failed, please contact DEP. Send an email to the address listed earlier for assistance. Please include the service ID number of the failed submittal in the message. At the far right-hand side of the row, you can find a PDF of the summary page for your records. Right here, upon successful submission of the report, you will also receive an email that acknowledges the department's receipt of the report. So if you have any questions, please direct inquiries pertaining to completion of the report via email at rmw@dep.nj.gov or contact the Bureau of Recycling and Hazardous Waste Management at 609-984-3438.